Have you ever felt like you should be reading the Bible, but it just felt like too much work? Or maybe if someone would do it with you, you would stick with it, like exercising or eating right or doing your homework. Well, look, I'm not teaching the Bible. I'm just reading small sections of it. And today I'd invite you to read the story in Luke chapter 2. The story that sets off that moment when Jesus was born. Take a look. Luke chapter 2. In those days. So a good question to ask is, what does it say? It's giving us a time. It's giving us a decree went out from Caesar Augustus. So you have a moment in history. Did it come from Caesar himself? Did it come just in the era of Caesar Augustus? Was this sort of a span of time? I don't know, but we can look historically at the records to see when Caesar Augustus was the ruler of the Roman world. And we can kind of pinpoint this moment, at least within the span of, a few years or decades. That's pretty stunning when you're thinking like 2,000 years ago. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. It's funny, we just had an election, and man, I got bombarded with reminders to register to vote. And when you get to be 18 years old, you'll get those reminders as well. This is not a new thing, but this registering wasn't so much to vote, because they didn't elect Caesar. No. This was about getting taxed. So, this is the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria. So we have a location. We have another character that's Quirinius, but I think all of this is just kind of giving us the setup, right? The time and space. And all went to be registered, each to his own town. And so the simplest way to trace family lines was really to say, all right, everybody go get back with your family. And in those days, most people were with their family. They didn't travel and live across the world from where their grandparents and great-grandparents lived. And so this was like, all right, everybody get together, and we'll count the number of people in your family, and that way we know how much money to take from you. And Joseph also went up from Galilee. So where did he go from Galilee? From the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. So we have a journey that takes place. Joseph goes from Nazareth to Bethlehem. And this is the city of David. This is his whole family line comes from Bethlehem. Why did Joseph do that? Well, it seems like a pretty simple answer, right? Because Joseph was part of that family line. He was of the house and lineage of David, and he went to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. So this is really just a whole setup paragraph. It's given us the movement in the story away from Elizabeth and Zechariah, who had a miracle baby, and the angel showed up and told Zechariah about it, and then the scene shifts over and the angel shows up and tells Mary, you're going to have a child. And then John is born, and now we're shifting back over to Mary. Where is Mary? Is she still hanging out in her hometown? No. She has traveled. Why did she travel? She traveled because of this census that said everybody needs to go to your family hometown. And the funny thing is, this feels like terrible timing. My wife, Catherine, is 9.5 months pregnant. We've scheduled an induction. We anticipate our little baby girl being born in 12 days. This would be a terrible time for some politician to knock on our door and say, pack your things and walk 50 miles, go. This would be a terrible time to do that. And essentially, what appears to be terrible timing is also somehow the hand of God. And this is what I would suggest that you do. The next time something ruins your plans, the next time something shakes up your comfort, ask God, Lord, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's about to happen that I didn't expect, but you saw coming a million miles away?